My name is Andre. I'm 29 years old, from Atlanta by way of New York. I'm married. I have a lovely wife named Vicky, who's actually from Jamaica. Now's not really the greatest time to have kids because we just want to be a little bit more stable. Fertility awareness tracking is basically the female keeping track of the best times it is for her to get pregnant versus the the times that she most likely would not become pregnant. The best time to not get pregnant is right after she's finished her cycle. So I guess she would say that she's in the clear at that point. So maybe about 2.5 weeks after, there starts to be a period of about 7 or 10 days where conception is most likely for that time of the month the highest. So we'd either probably stay away, for that time. That's not actually hard, having a busy schedule. And after, we know that, we're in better shape, that, that won't be a problem afterwards. She'll say, this is like danger zone time, kind of thing. So I know that for the next week, 7 to 10 days or so, that, if we don't want any problems, this is the best time where we don't really do anything much. So I just rely on her really just to keep track of how she's doing. And, just for her to let me know along the way. Or sometimes I may even ask, how are you doing? And she will, she knows what I mean by that. And, it's a good system that we communicate, and she keeps track of it. So it keeps us in sync and knowing at all times, when to do what. Fertility tracking is free. Doesn't cost a thing. It's spontaneous almost, because on those times where you're not necessarily the low fertility times, you can pretty much be as spontaneous as you want. The drawbacks to it is that, the times where the high fertility, comes into play, it's not as spontaneous. You have to be more careful. You may just choose to abstain for that period of time altogether. I think it's more for an older person who's a little bit more mature and has a little bit more experience with her body and knows, when this is supposed to happen, when that is supposed to happen. My name is Andre. I'm 29 years old, and my wife and I use fertility tracking method.